Nice. Hello, everyone. Welcome back. Episode 9, Water Hose Drinkers. This weekend might be the best weekend of all year for sports, college football, NFL, World Series, basketball, and hockey.
And some would say for the boys.
That has also been said. It was a great weekend last weekend, but this weekend will be unreal. We have lots to get to. Very exciting episode today. Let's go ahead and jump in. Song of the day.
Song of the day. Keep it on the same track we've been going on. Waylon Jennings, You Ask Me To. Absolute tune. Man, you can just sit there with the windows rolled down in the car all day and jam to it.
I can attest. Josh showed me earlier.
Can't go wrong with Waylon.
For me, this one has a story behind it. It is Have Mercy on the Criminal by Elton John, one of his best songs ever and one of the best performers ever. Love me some Elton John. But the other day, I was going down this road in Hawkinsville, way out in the country. I never see any police officers there, and there's never anybody else, so I was safely speeding. I was going like around 70 and a 55, and a cop came by, and he flashed his lights, but he didn't turn around and pull me over. The song that was playing was Have Mercy on the Criminal, and he had mercy.
On the criminal.
On the criminal.
A little super speeder action, huh?
No, that wouldn't have been super speeder if I calmed down.
But a speeder.
But a speeder, yeah. I was late to the deer stand, Josh. What was I supposed to do?
What we got next? A little right answer?
Right answer?
Let's see if he picks up. Mr. Wright Strickland, you want to tell the people about Wright?
Wright is a brother down at Georgia Southern. He's a great guy. He's been giving us a segment every week where he would call in and get a random question.
What's up,
And here he is.
Right.
What's going on?
What you got in store for us this week, brother?
Are y'all buying the hype on Victor Wembanyama?
Are you?
No, I'm not. I don't think he's physical enough to play in the NBA, but I don't know. We're about to figure out. It's day one in the NBA.
I'm not too involved with the NBA, honestly, but I'm going to have to disagree. Just because of the absolute length, but you are right, he does have to get more physical.
I am in wait and see mode on Victor W. I look at the body transformations that Giannis and to an extent KD had, where they put on so much muscle after being in the league for a while.
Yeah.
Obviously, Victor doesn't have the offensive bag that KD does, but I'm not out on him and I'm not super high. I'm riding the fence.
Yeah. Just gonna wait and see.
Wait and see.
Yeah. All
Right. I appreciate it. You got anything else to say to the people?
right. Big game for the Eagles tomorrow. What do y'all think about that? What do you think about the Eagle game?
Dude, should that even be a question?
Eagles -1.
Hey.
Lions only at 1?
1. It started off at 2.5, and now it's at 1.
I mean, you got to take the Eagles.
Always. Hail Southern.
All right. Hail Southern, boys. I'll see y'all.
See it.
So you're right. That was the right answer.
You right? I thought we had a couple right answers in there, I'd say.
Yeah, dude, we did double down the right answer.
We'll see here in about 24 hours if we're really right. Dude, so before we jump into a couple general discussion things, I know Alec wants to talk about Michigan. You want to dive into this whole shit that's going down with Michigan?
Yes, I would very much like to talk about this. So, if for those of you unaware, there has been I think it's much more than a rumor now, allegations have been made against Michigan for sign stealing and illegal scouting over the past several years to help them win games. So, first off, just to get it out there, Harbaugh has denied all knowledge of this. He has taken this as a complete blind eye to it, had no idea what was going on, which, if it is true and it is a multi-year deal involving multiple staff members, there's absolutely no way he had no knowledge of it. That I'll just go ahead and say that. But it all starts with Connor Stallions. It's an assistant coach or a staff member. They haven't really specified his position, which is kind of odd.
Yeah.
So, Connor Stallions has his Venmo on public, and he's been caught on multiple occasions Venmoing recruiting interns and other staff members at Michigan and even former teammates because he played football at Navy.
Yeah.
Venmoing them for supposed scouting trips. And so, just to clarify the NCAA's rules and all of this, stealing signs is legal. If you watch film and you notice things, that is legal to use. If you're in a game and they keep doing this every time they're going to fake punt and you notice that, that is not illegal to do. That is simply scouting.
100%.
What is illegal is off-campus scouting of future opponents in season. So if Georgia is playing Florida this weekend, but they want to scout Missouri, and they say Josh will pay $500 to go to the Missouri game this weekend, so that we have a scouting report for them next week, that is illegal.
For sure.
So, dude, this is it's a messy situation, and it's still developing, so we don't have everything, all the knowledge here. But Connor Stallions had supposedly purchased tickets to over 30 of Michigan's opponents' games. They've called him what?
I can't remember what they called
The Seat Geek Sniper. That's what it was.
The Seat Geek Sniper.
Seat Geek Sniper.
This guy's got a problem.
So Buddy probably has subscriptions to SeatGeek and StubHub and all that shit.
Ticketmaster, Game Time app,
Yeah.
everything.
But the craziest part of this whole deal, this is like legit insano shit. Connor Stallions had, I don't know how this became public knowledge either, had a quote-unquote Michigan manifesto. There's over 600 pages on his computer with a very detailed plan on how he was going to eventually rise to the top of Michigan football and like revive the program. He's had this running for years and years.
Dude, nobody that has a manifesto, it never ends well.
It never ends well.
Never ends well at all. That's all I'm going to say.
Jack Mack from Unnecessary Roughness made a really good TikTok on this if you want some more info on it. And that's what he was saying, is that there has never been a good manifesto in the history of the world. Anytime you personally put the word manifesto in something you're writing, put them on a list.
Hard L. Hard L. And on it.
All right, sorry, folks, a little bit of technical difficulties over here.
No worries. Yeah, but anyway, nobody likes a manifesto. It's always going to be a hard L. And truly, this guy has a 600-page document about how he's going to take over and revive the program.
That is,
what are you doing?
Very
psycho.
Very obsessive stuff. And now he is under investigation by the NCAA. I have absolutely no idea where this goes. I feel very strongly that Harbaugh at least had mild knowledge of it. He may have said, keep me out of it, but he had to have been aware.
Definitely aware.
Kirby Smart had a comment on it. He was asked in a press conference, your team recently played Michigan 2021 in the Orange Bowl, and he said that he never noticed anything strange like that against playing Michigan. He said that there may be some confusion on the true definition of sign stealing. He was very non-accusatory, which I think is the best stance for him to take. You don't want to sit here and say,
can't really comment on it.
Yeah. Which
especially on an ongoing investigation.
Kirby Smart is one of the best out there at coach speak. Buddy is not going to make definitive statements.
No. He's going to tell you as little as possible, and the media to him, and pretty much for a lot of college football coaches, you're on a need-to-know basis. Like, we're not going to tell you shit unless we have to.
Rightfully so. I mean, all the best. They always keep their cards close to the chest.
100%. You got anything else on Michigan?
That is all on Michigan for now. But like I said, more shit keeps coming out every day. So we'll
hopefully
probably talk
we
about
see something
again
soon. Yeah, hopefully we got some more by next week's episode too. Dude, the stay on college football. USC lost. Utah Utes, baby. Caleb Williams does not look good against big time teams.
It's interesting now because it is quite a trend to where Caleb Williams has these unreal games, makes these insane plays, crazy stats against teams that are ranked 75th plus in pass defense.
Yeah.
And then he comes up against a legit opponent and is just completely dumbfounded. Now, I don't know if that's a problem with USC's O-line or if a problem with Caleb or the
There's
run
no
game.
defense either.
There's no defense ever, so he's not getting any kind of breaks there. I mean, that sucks when you're in desperation mode. Like 90% of the time, you know you got to score 40 or 50 to win every game.
Dude, so give you a little stats. First 22 games between Clay Helton and Lincoln Riley at USC. Clay Helton 17-5. Lincoln Riley 17-5. Pac-12 titles 0 for both. Clay Helton 1 bowl win. Lincoln Riley 0. Clay Helton 4-5 against ranked opponents. Lincoln Riley 2-5. Clay Helton against Utah 1-1. Lincoln Riley against Utah 0-3. And they're both 1-1 against Notre Dame.
That is interesting. I had no idea that Helton was off to that good of a start.
I mean, it obviously didn't work out the way USC fans want to, but I mean, a storied program like that, you know, of course they're going to move on if they don't see a national championship. So to stay on that track, my point being, how long before they start calling for Lincoln Riley's head? It's obviously not going to be this season. But let's say Caleb Williams goes to the NFL draft, which I guess it's still up in the air right now, but he's probably going to. If they have a bad year next year, are they calling for Lincoln Riley's head and want him to get fired?
No, I don't think they would, because there is a difference between cannot and have not. And I do, to an extent, believe that Lincoln Riley has not won a national championship. I do not think that he cannot. Same with Ryan Day, same with Harbaugh. But those other guys more so. If Lincoln Riley can have just moderate improvement on a defense, if you can put up a top 50 defense, then USC is right back in title contender.
A legit defensive coordinator, maybe, too. Because, I mean, golly, they couldn't catch a cold.
You got to nail your defensive coordinator hire. I think Alex Grinch is out as DC after this year.
100%.
They did have a couple of big pickups in the transfer portal on defense. I got Bear Alexander from Georgia.
He had a bad penalty late in that game, too.
He did. There is talent on the defense. It's just they cannot put everything together in an entire season. And if Caleb Williams does leave, they do have Malachi Nelson right behind him. It's another 5-star quarterback who's going to do great. Lincoln Riley's an offensive guru.
Who knows? Maybe not.
Most likely he's going to put up crazy
I'm not
stats.
saying he won't. I'm not saying he won't. But I'm just saying, maybe not.
Oh, but I would like one more comment on the Caleb Williams thing. I can't remember if it was Stephen A. Smith or Shannon Sharp that recommended Caleb Williams come back. No.
Sit out for the rest of the year.
Sit out for the rest of the year and prepare for the draft.
I wouldn't be surprised if he did it.
That would be...
I wouldn't draft him with that number 1 overall pick if he did that. It shows a lot about his character. If he did it.
We've seen this before, but it was under the disguise of the COVID year. I remember Derek Stingley sitting out the entire season. That was hogwash. Jamie Newman, Georgia, Wake Forest transfer, sat out the entire 2020 season. That was just ludicrous.
Greatest Georgia quarterback
Those
of all
guys
time.
were not scared of the coronavirus. No, they thought that they were going to go highly in the draft. Stingley did. Jamie Newman didn't even get drafted.
He didn't even have a shot with the team.
Yeah, dude, I absolutely hate that. I think that now that we're past the COVID season, and if people start doing this, if Caleb Williams starts this will start a landslide in college football.
If he doesn't play in the bowl game, like, I don't really care about that.
I see. I'm still on the bowl game shit, man.
No, I'm with you, but, like, I don't think it really matters anymore.
It should, man. It should, because when you Now, obviously, things are different now. Recruits commit to schools for very different reasons than they used to. But you should feel some sense of loyalty to your school.
I agree.
And to say that you are so fearful of injury that you want to sit out a post-game bowl game, but you're going to be working out hard as hell the whole next couple of months. You're going to be playing the Reese's Senior Bowl. You're going to be doing the NFL Combine. You're going to be playing pickup, shit like that. No, dude. It's like if you're scared of being injured, then fine. You better not be doing anything else for just low-tier exercises till the NFL draft.
No, I'm with you, but if I was an NFL GM, that's the way I would think. But at the end of the day, to NFL teams, unfortunately, that doesn't matter.
Money is the greatest motivator in essentially all sports now. But if I was an NFL GM, yes, I would take extra attention to guys that played their bowl games when they did not have to.
Dude, so Dirty Birds, what you think? Another couple turnovers for Desmond Ritter, couple fumbles in the red zone, 2 on the 1 yard line. I mean, abysmal game by him, but thanks to Younghoe Koo, Georgia Southern legend, pulled out the victory for him.
Bijan Robinson, 0.3 fantasy points, was apparently out with headaches, migraines, something like that. That seems a little bit strange. I'm not saying that NFL players can't get migraines because, I mean, that's just normal people shit. But the whole thing seemed a little bit weird. I don't really know what to say there. Desmond Ritter looked terrible, terrible. Falcons got bailed out by defense and special teams.
Again.
Falcons, I mean, they're, especially with the win the past week, they are going to be pushing for a playoff spot, so they're not going to have a high draft pick. Luckily, this is a quarterback-rich draft class. Do you, at the end of the first round...
Justin Fields.
It's interesting. It really is very interesting.
Bring him home.
I don't think that that's the right move. Because I think that Chicago will probably want an arm and a leg for him. He's still a first-round draft quarterback who has high potential.
What if Chicago gets the number 1 overall pick?
Then they're going to deal him. I just don't think that Justin Fields is the guy that puts Atlanta over the hump.
Okay. So, if you had to choose right now, who would it be?
Dude, talking about free agency or draft?
Anybody.
Free agency, I would take a quick look under the hood for Kirk Cousins.
Okay.
Draft, you're going to be picking probably in the 15 to 24 range. Guys that could be there, Penix, Bo Nix, Quinn Ewers, could all be interesting. But again...
Quinn Ewers throwing arm hurt again. That's something to be a question mark about.
Some of those guys, I don't know if I would spend a top 20 pick on. Like I said, a lot of quarterbacks in this class. Just go find you one that you like, man.
I wouldn't spend a top 20 pick on Drake May.
This guy's crazy. Dude.
I wouldn't.
This guy's crazy. Drake May's a certified baller.
Yeah, he's a great college quarterback.
Okay, well, who do you like as a pro prospect?
Me.
God, dude, yeah, you do hand the ball off very well.
I was all-state field goal holder. Place kicker right here. Or not place kicker, but placeholder. Sorry.
So you should be a punter in the NFL.
No.
Most of them have punters as holders.
No, man. I'm strictly holding. That's my job. Pay me $500K a year. That's what I do.
I don't know if you're clutch like that, dude.
Ah, dude.
You got to have...
Laces out, baby. Come on.
All right, dude. Give me a Falcons quarterback draft pick.
Oh. Right now, I'd have to say Penix or Bo Nix. I think Bo Nix has a better upside for NFL talent than Penix does because Bo Nix has more starting experience.
Penix has started the most games of any
Yeah.
college football quarterback
Yeah.
ever.
I think he's a very, very smart player. But I'd like to see Penix.
I think that Bo Nix fits better scheme-wise for
Yeah.
Atlanta, but I like Penix better as a pure thrower. I mean, dude was born for an air raid offense.
For
so
sure.
I don't think that Atlanta
I think
would
maybe
be
Vikings would try to go after him, honestly.
Yeah, dude, I could see that. Penix throwing to Jefferson and Addison, that would be pretty nice.
But I think Bo Nix would actually be a pretty good pick for the Falcons.
Penix might do well in Arizona, but they got to get wide receiver help.
Yeah.
There's going to be a lot of teams looking for quarterbacks.
Yeah, speaking of the Falcons, they got the Titans this weekend. Titans are starting Will Levis.
Yes, they are. We will apparently see Levis and Malik Willis.
Falcons are minus 2.5. If you're a gambling man, hypothetically, if you want to, lock it in. Maybe somebody's got that in store for their picks. Dude, so you got anything else for the Birds or any college football or NFL?
I think that was all that I had. I really just wanted to go hard on that Michigan segment.
All right. Little UGA for us.
Man, I appreciate this with all my heart. You don't know how much I do appreciate it. I love every one of you. And screw Florida and the mule that came in
Screw
damn good
Florida
dog.
and the mule they came in on.
A damn good dog and a damn good eagle.
I mean, absolutely ridiculous. Florida, I think they might cover the 14.5 this weekend, unfortunately.
Yeah, I don't love 14.5 at all. I do not love 14.5.
But what do you have for us? What you got? I know you got something written up.
Yeah, I did a little notes on this one. Extra time with the bye week and just big matchup, so got a little bit excited. But Florida, their offense is much improved from last year. Graham Mertz has outlived my expectations, outdone my expectations, and I think a lot of people's. He's sitting at 12 touchdowns, 2 interceptions, takes care of the ball, completing 76% of his passes.
Damn, I didn't know that.
Yeah, dude, like he's been dialed in. They had a huge road win against South Carolina 2 weeks ago, 41-39, came down to the wire. This is a confident team who is now seeing their capabilities, and they also currently control their own destiny in the SEC. If Florida wins out, even with a loss to Florida State in their last game of the season, they will make the SEC championship because they still have Georgia and Missouri left, plus Arkansas at home and LSU on the road. So this is a dangerous spot here for Georgia. Obviously missing Brock Bowers, biggest piece of the puzzle there. But I don't think that will hurt as bad as people think it will. I got Oscar Delp and Lawson Lucky, possible keys to victory. You're going to see Delp take a little bit of Bowers' role. I think Delp is more natural in the slot and out wide rather than inline. He's not a great blocker. He's a good blocker, but not great. Lucky is a little more of a natural blocker, and we'll probably see some more inline work while Delp goes out wide. That's interesting. But also, if you're the Florida defensive coordinator before, you notice that Brock Bowers is Carson Beck's safety net. So your keys are on Bowers. Every single play, you're probably going to shade him with a safety. You're going to chip him at the line of scrimmage, stuff like that. So without Bowers, Georgia still has a plethora of weapons to use. Lad McConkey, Dominic Lovett, Ra Thomas, Marcus Rosemy-Jack Saint, Arian Smith, who's seen very limited action this year. Georgia's going to have their top 3 running backs healthy for the first time in a while. That's Dejon Kendall-Milton and Roderick Robinson.
Needed that bye week.
Needed that bye week. Bye week has never come at a bad time. Oscar Delp, Lawson Lucky. So now if you're the Florida defensive coordinator, you're like, oh shit, who's going to be the guy for Georgia this week? And we may not even have a guy, dude. Carson Beck could just get in there and play point guard and distribute the ball all over the fucking place. Well, Georgia's biggest mismatch, if Georgia is up, it's probably because their third down defense is ridiculous. Let me find third down. Dogs, number 1 in the country on third down conversion against. 24% is what their opponents have been hitting at this year. That is number 1 nationally. Florida's offense hits third downs at 33%.
Damn.
So that is the big matchup right there, is Georgia's defense versus Florida's offense on third downs. Florida, their biggest mismatch is their red zone offense versus Georgia's red zone defense. Florida's red zone offense ranks 19th in the country. Georgia, very surprisingly, ranks 118th in the country on scores allowed in the red zone, giving up a touchdown on, I think, 73%. Yes, 73%. This year, Georgia has allowed a touchdown in the red zone. So, don't let them get past midfield. Stop them on third down.
Screw Florida.
And screw Florida.
Largest outdoor cocktail party.
Which I guess you can't call it that anymore for some God unknown reason. But a guy asked this question the other day by a guy who's a little bit older, and he's not even really a Georgia fan, he's kind of a Clemson fan. So he's kind of just asking, as a younger Georgia fan, who my biggest rival was out of Florida, Auburn, Tennessee, Georgia Tech. I said, it's Florida. Like,
of course.
Far and away, unquestioned. I think the answer to that question lies within the SEC scheduling. We all know if the SEC scheduling goes to a 1-8 model, where you have 1 permanent opponent and 8 rotating, Georgia's permanent is going to be Florida.
Got to.
No questions asked there.
Has to be.
And then if they do the 3-6, then with 3 permanents and 6 rotating, it'd probably be Florida, Auburn, and Tennessee, perhaps.
Probably
maybe
Tennessee.
South Carolina. But Florida, undistinguished.
100%. I mean, they've been playing every year for 80, 90 years.
Yep.
I want to say since 1932, maybe.
They've been playing for a very long time, and Georgia leads the all-time series.
What's it at?
Last I saw, it was 49-42, but that was several years ago.
I don't know. Who knows? Somebody look that up. Drop it in the comments, please.
Jamie.
Yeah, Jamie. Come on.
We are still taking applications for our guy that looks up things like that for us.
Jamie, please. Got anything else on Georgia?
The other thing I was going to add is that Florida's defense does not do well with versatile offenses. So against South Carolina, who's a pass-heavy offense, Florida's defense played pretty well, defended the pass pretty well. Against Kentucky, they defended the pass well, but got run all over. I don't think that they're going to match up very well with Georgia's defense. With Georgia's offense. Georgia's running very, very balanced right now, running the ball 34 times a game and passing the ball 37 times a game. So it's kind of a pick your poison deal. If you are Georgia OC or Florida DC, it's like, what do you want to do right now? And obviously Georgia's got to establish the run to set up the pass. That's a tale as old as time, which I think they will do. So Georgia's versatility on offense versus Florida's one-trick pony defense.
I got a lot that I'm about to say about that on Georgia Southern too. I 100% agree. I mean, like you said, you got to dominate the run game to set up the pass game. So if they do that and force Florida to punt early or create a turnover early, I'm going to go in the Dogs' favor.
Could get ugly.
Oh, for sure. I mean, that's just... It's football. Even the other way around, I'm not saying Florida's going to make Georgia look like a fool, but it could get ugly for Georgia, and they have to play, comeback. And you, of course, don't want to do that being the number 1 team in America.
No, you don't want to get behind. You don't want to have a slow start. Has been one of Georgia's biggest struggles this year. Get Carson Beck comfortable early. I don't like the Dogs to cover, but I do like them to win somewhere 31-20, 34-25,
Great win.
somewhere in there.
Great win. It's going to be a close football game. I mean, like we said, Georgia, Florida. I mean, it's rivalry week here in Georgia. Georgia Southern, Georgia State, and then you got Georgia, Florida. I mean, it's a great weekend for the boys, man. We finally get to watch some football together this year for the first time.
Big rivalry weekend.
We finally get to watch some Saturday college football together for the first time this year, so I'm excited for that. Get to watch the Dogs together. Georgia Southern plays tomorrow, but dude, gotta love it. It's a great weekend for the boys.
It's going to be a great boys weekend.
For sure. Maybe we'll document something after a couple of these.
Probably shouldn't.
Yeah, no.
But that means we should.
Yes.
All right, we will.
All right. You got anything else on the Dogs?
If you are a hypothetical betting man and you're looking for a wager to take in the Georgia-Florida game,
Tease.
the over in Florida's last 8 matchups as a 2-touchdown underdog or more is 7-1.
Try to tease that number. Get Georgia, get a 6.5, 7.5 point teaser. Get the Dogs at like, what is it, 8 points? Somewhere around there. 7.5, 8 points.
So last time Florida was the last 8 times Florida was a double-digit dog, 14-point dog or more. The over is 7-1. I think that the over will smash. I think it's 47, 48, somewhere in there.
Let me do a little research here. So, the total for Georgia, Florida is...
I definitely do like the over. If you just really want to take something. But
it's at 47 right now. So, if you tease it, Georgia's minus 14.5 and the total's at 47.
if you could do a 6-point teaser and get down to 43, maybe couple that with Georgia minus 8.
6.5 point teaser, you get Georgia minus 8 over 40.5. Hypothetically, hammer it, man. But you also could get Florida at plus 21. Nah, I don't know.
I'm changing my mind. Dogs are going to kick ass.
Yeah. So, yeah. You want to get in a little Georgia Southern?
Let's talk them Eagles.
Got another little sound bit for us, so bear with me. It's a little minute long.
I'm going to get out of here while I'm still alive. I'm going to say it one more time. We're Georgia Southern. Our colors are blue and white. We call ourselves the Bald Eagles. We call our offense the Georgia Power Company, and that's a terrific name for an offense. And our snap count is rate hike. We practice on the banks of beautiful Eagle Creek, and that's in Statesboro, Georgia, the Nat capital of America. Our weekends begin on Thursday. The co-eds outnumber the men 3-2. They're all good looking, and they're all rich. And folks, you just can't beat that. And you just can't beat Georgia Southern. And you ain't seen nothing yet. Thank you.
And you ain't seen nothing yet, Georgia State. Screw you. -1, -1.5, whatever it is, it's get back right, and it's time to dominate in Paulson Stadium.
I'm going to alt spread them to -7.
Dude.
Hypothetically.
If I could take Georgia Southern minus 99.5, hypothetically, would.
Hammer it.
100-0. Easy victory. Easy. So last week, 38-28 win over ULM. Not a great second half. Pretty good first half. Davis, 20 for 36, 240, 2 tugs, 2 picks. Jalen White, 26 carries, 164, 2 tugs. I mean, just like we said, with Georgia, you got to get the run game going, man. I mean, Georgia State does have a good defense, though, so I'd expect maybe to try to run a couple screen passes early to open it up, maybe something over the top, or you do have to mix in that run game and get Jalen White going again. You got to rely on him. He's a beast back there, and I keep on saying it. We got to get Keaton Upshaw more involved. Gonna kind of hold my tongue, but they just need to get him, more involved. But it is what it is. You got to get a big win tomorrow night against Georgia State. It's your bitter rival besides App State. It's modern day hate, as they call it. And, there's a picture going around of Georgia State's coach on a yellow school bus. Took a picture of it and put it online. So that should be on the exit of the locker room so every player can see it. It's time to get back right and get Paulson Stadium rocking. We need a big win on national television.
So, Thursday night, this is obviously hypothetical.
Mm-hmm.
You're sitting at home. Georgia State won. What happened?
Turnovers.
Brent's got to take care of the football.
Got to take care of the football, number one. The inability to create a turnover on defense. I think that's going to be huge too. I think that's what this game's going to come down to, because if you look at last year, we lost by 10, 12 points, and we had 5 turnovers, and 3 of them being in the second half. So you take that away, you probably win that football game. And you take the turnovers away against Wisconsin. I'm excluding James Madison. They beat us fair and square. Turnovers didn't matter. You take away those turnovers against Wisconsin, that's a much different ball game. You take a couple turnovers away against ULM, that's a much different ball game. One thing I do have to say, we were relying on Jalen in the running game a lot in the second half, and it was working great, and then all of a sudden we decided to throw the ball. Bam, turnover. Momentum shifter. You're up by I think 17-20 at that point, or whatever the score was. You were up by 17 to 20 points, and why are you going away from the running game? Why? Defense has got to be better, 100%, but Marquise Watson-Trent, dude, he's a beast. I think he had 14 tackles, like 6 or 7 solos, a pass deflection, a sack, a couple tackles for loss. I mean, he's really the backbone of that defense, but somebody needs to step up in a big way. In a big way.
How's our good friend of the podcast, TJ Smith, doing?
TJ had a pick last game, almost had a pick 6. He's having a great season, man.
Sweet.
And, Caleb Hood, I think he had 7 or 8 catches for 90 yards last week. So all the guys on the podcast are that we've had on, they're having a good season. Davis is having a good season. But, turnovers here and there have really hurt him. But at the same time, you're sitting here, you're 5-2, and you got, besides App State, your arch rival coming into your home turf. Screw whatever's happened in the past. Screw all the turnovers, screw all the bullshit and all the stuff in your head. Flush it down the toilet. It's a new ball game. And I know he's thinking that right now. And I bet he's ready to go. I bet they're all out for blood, man.
Who would you label as Georgia Southern's wide receiver 2 behind Caleb Hood?
Derwin Burgess right now.
Okay, that was the name. If you're familiar with Big Game Boomer on Twitter, he makes some interesting lists. I do think the guy knows ball, but I think he makes very controversial lists from time to time just to get engagement. Which, I mean, his dude is smart, honestly. But he had Derwin Burgess and Caleb Hood as a top 10 wide receiver duo in the country.
Oh, really?
So,
well,
BGB.
if you look at yards wise, I mean, yeah, for sure. I would like to see Anthony Quealy get more involved this week in the pass game, but definitely Hood and Burgess are 1 and 2. Let's pull up their stats this year, see what we can find out.
I know Caleb Hood's been having a phenomenal year. All friends of the podcast, really.
Yeah, I mean, Davis is having a good year.
All dogs and eagles are friends of the podcast.
So, I'm trying to find the stats here, guys. Bear with me. So, Davis right now he is 217 for 325, 2,122 yards, 66.8% completion percentage, 14 tugs, 11 interceptions, 15 sacks. And we got sacks like 6 or 7 times last year alone.
15 through 8 games is not terrible. It's not great. It's not ideal, but it's not as bad as I've seen some.
For sure. Jalen White, 81 carries on the year, 475, 5 touchdowns. You got to get him more involved.
I think Bryce Young got sacked over 40 times. That was in 15 games.
No kidding.
For Alabama 21.
Caleb Hood, 57 catches, 590 yards, 3 touchdowns. Derwin Burgess, 44 catches, 466, 4 touchdowns. So, yeah, I mean, they're both having a great season. Both right at 500 yards. So, I mean, I think by the end of the year, you're halfway point right now. Caleb's definitely going to get over 1,000. Derwin's going to be right at it, man. I think he's going to be close. He's definitely going to have 800, in my opinion. Easy 800.
Sweet. Huge game tomorrow. Just to recap, Georgia Southern -1 at home versus Georgia State. Massive game. Homecoming game?
Homecoming's last week.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
Because the homecoming queen was from Hawkinsville.
Yeah.
Yeah. So how about that?
Shout out to the Red Devils, man.
Congratulations, Sydney Lawson. If you are miraculously listening to this right now.
Yeah, I doubt she is listening to the podcast. I don't know who she is, but yeah, congrats. Red Devil, man.
No, she's
Red Devil?
I think she went to Westfield.
Stingham Hornets.
Stingham Hornets,
Stingham
dude.
Hornets, man. Dude, yo Yaggies, how'd they do last Thursday night?
Yankees won kind of an ugly game in New Orleans against the Saints. They did cover the spread. I believe the score was 31-24. The Saints looked totally out of sync offensively. And I think part of that was due, in fact, to the Jags were playing very well on the defensive side of the ball. They lead the league right now in turnovers, or takeaways, rather. But Derek Carr looked completely out of sync with his receivers. So many times I was seeing him throw his hands up after a miss, and that shit looked weird in New Orleans. I would not feel super great if I was a Saints fan right now. But on the flip side, Trevor played a little bit banged up because my quarterback's a warrior. That's the type of shit that he does.
Menace.
Played a great game. Had a huge run in the fourth quarter. Looked pretty good on that knee. He is questionable this week against the Steelers. Jags are favored by 2.5, I believe, in Pittsburgh. I don't really love it, but
I mean, it's all right. Trevor had a great game last Thursday night, but you know the Saints they're a little banged up as well, and I hypothetically hammered them. And I hypothetically have a wager on Sam Houston State right now, and as we flipped on the game, UTEP scored a touchdown to tie it up, so maybe I should shut it off.
what did you have hypothetically Sam Houston State at?
-5.
-5.
They have not
Plenty
won a
of
ball
time.
game this year. or
Plenty of
covered a-
time.
They have not won a ball game this year or covered.
They are 0-7.
Yeah. they're bad. But so is UTEP.
Jags, since week 14 of the NFL season in 2022, the Jaguars are 11-2, which is tied for the best in the NFL in that span.
Does
Just
that include
saying.
playoffs?
No.
Okay, just regular season. Mm-hmm. All right. But still, man, I mean that's unbelievable. Who would expect that out of the Jacksonville Jaguars 4 years ago?
Nobody would have. Things are trending in the right direction in Jacksonville. Things are still a little bit out of sync on offense. I feel like they're not quite playing to the potential. There's been a lot of drops from the wide receivers. Offensive line play has been shaky, although that could be due in part to some injuries that we've sustained. Trevor Etienne's taken on a much bigger role this year. He's getting 18 carries a game this year compared to 12 carries a game last year. And so, Travis Etienne. I was thinking about Florida and Trevor Etienne, dude.
Yeah, his brother.
Yeah, dude, that's crazy. Which Trevor Etienne's really good too. Travis Etienne, my Jaguar, my fantasy player as well. He is up to 18 carries a game this year compared to 12 last year. So we've seen a dip in Trevor Lawrence's stats, and people were trying to come at him. I saw a Titans fan call him a game manager on Twitter. That hit me deep in my soul because that's
No, man, they got an
not
improved
true.
offensive line. They got an improved running back core, and he's got better receivers. But I mean, I'm sorry he can't. Yeah, a little dip, but at the same time, he's been banged up, and they've relied on that running game more than they could last year. They couldn't rely on it that much last year as much as they can right now.
So, assuming the Jags pick 25 plus, 25 to 32 in the first round next year, which they do have their own first round pick, I want Marius Mims out of Georgia. Dude, great tackle, great pass protector, and
I want the Jets to get him so bad,
versatile.
dude.
And versatile.
I want the Jets to get him so bad.
But he can play every position except for center.
I want the Jets to get him, man, so bad. He's an absolute behemoth of an individual, man.
From Blakely County.
The Dogs know how to build the boys in the trenches, man.
Great Wall of Georgia. Been doing it for a long time.
Yeah. So the Jets, Jets, Jets. We're on a bye last week. We got the G strings coming up this Sunday.
Battle of the Meadowlands.
Yeah, dude. Jets are favored by 2.5, 3.5. I think it's around a field goal. I think Saquon's questionable. I'm not 100% sure. I don't think Danny Dimes is going to play. I think we're going to see Tyrod Taylor again. But, just Zach's got to take care of the football. O-line's got to play a good game. G-String's D-line's pretty good. Mm-hmm. You got Dexter Lawrence and Leonard Williams. Leonard Williams, former Jet. But, I don't know if Sauce and DJ Reed are playing. I think so. We're still a little banged up, but at the same time, let's rely on Breece Hall again. Mm-hmm. Mix in Dalvin Cook a little bit more. Let's get the run game going.
Less Jets, more so general NFL. Are you expecting or hoping to see any big trades here before the NFL trade deadline?
It kind of seems like the Broncos are shopping everyone. I saw a little report that the Broncos are even shopping Surtain. How true that is, I don't know. That was not from Schefter. Not from Adam Schefter.
I would cut off 2 of my toes to have Patrick Surtain in Jacksonville opposite Tyson Campbell. Although the recent acquisition, Darius Williams, has been playing phenomenal this year.
Imagine Patrick Surtain and Sauce Gardner on the same defense.
No, but I'm thinking about him coming to my favorite team. You see what I'm saying here?
Well,
he's definitely going to be worth a first, though.
Oh, well, yeah. Yeah, and I mean,
he's one of the best young corners in the game right now.
The value of the Jets and Jags first-round pick is not going to have... Okay.
But at the same time, the Dolphins got Jalen Ramsey for pennies on the dollar, essentially, compared to his talent.
Jalen is a lot older. Surtain's only been in the league for a couple of years. He's got a long more upside years down the road from now.
So maybe not a first, but at the bare minimum, a second.
Oh, he's a first-round draft pick. He's worth a first-round draft pick. 100% first-round draft pick. So, if you were any GM in the NFL, what team... Okay, here's my question. What team do you think Surtain would go to if he gets traded?
Highest bidder, man. It's tough because you can make the argument that every single team in the NFL needs another corner like Surtain.
For sure.
There are so many teams that have a dominant cornerback one and then, just filling in guys around the rest of the secondary. Again, going back to Jacksonville, Darius Williams has been playing great as cornerback too, so we don't really need Surtain, but that's also one of those dudes that if you got him, you just plug and play, just put him on the field somewhere.
You think Broncos would try to trade him to a contender? I mean, obviously he would want to go to a contender.
He would probably want to go to a contender. You know who needs secondary help? The 2 teams that just popped in my mind is Chicago and Tennessee.
Okay, well, we're talking about contenders here.
Yeah, neither of those teams are contenders. The Eagles are good on secondary. The Chiefs are pretty good on secondary.
Chiefs defense has really been a big surprise this year, too.
Yeah,
honestly.
49ers are good on secondary. Dolphins are good. I'm trying to think of a contender with just a weak cornerback room. Maybe that's an indicator of being a contender.
I am thinking of like the Chargers, but they wouldn't trade them in division.
Well, the Chargers are sitting at 2-4 right now, right?
Yeah, but they can still be a contender.
Yeah, I don't know about Brandon Staley there in LA.
Me neither. especially as a former defensive coordinator, a defensive guy.
Seahawks are good. The Lions, perhaps.
Cowboys?
Yeah. Especially if Trayvon Diggs is out for several more
They
games.
got Stephon Gilmore.
They got Stephon Gilmore, but he's old.
Cowboys? Sleeper?
Cowboys sleeper, and I got the Lions as a sleeper as well.
Okay. I think that if they trade him, he's going to go to the NFC. They're not going to trade him to an AFC team.
Yeah, I wouldn't do that.
Vikings wouldn't do it because they're probably looking to ship.
Well, yeah, the Vikings already started their fire sale. They sent safety Kevin Byard to Philly for basically pennies on the dollar.
Yeah.
Byard's a really, really solid free safety in the NFL. I think they got
No, that was Tennessee. Kevin Byard. to
Yeah,
Philly.
Tennessee sent him to Philly. Is that not what I said?
Keep going.
Oh, yeah, that was it.
Keep going. So yeah, you want to get into a little gambling?
Dude, let's go to the corner.
Dude, so new celebrity guest picker. What we're gonna start doing is my dad was on last week, and Dylan before that, and Patrick before that. Giving us picks and some insight. And nobody's had a winning record or even been 500. So if somebody goes over 500 or has a winning record, they continue next week and so forth. So if they keep on either right at 2-2 or 1-1 or whatever it may be, however many picks they give us, they get to continue. Or have a winning record and they continue. So this week we got in store, Cisco Disco Moore down in Fernandina, Florida, baby.
Disco Dancing Cisco.
I mean,
what does he have in store for us?
So Cisco Disco's got the Rangers -165, game 1 of the MLB World Series versus the D-backs, baby.
Did you know that in the ALCS, the home team lost all 7 games?
Yeah, dude, crazy. Absolutely crazy. I mean, we were talking about it before we started, and I truly think it is a great World Series for baseball fans.
Oh, it certainly is.
I mean, seeing the Rangers and the D-backs, I would be happy to see either one of those teams win.
I am totally fine with either one of them winning, dude. I think this is a great World Series for baseball.
It's not the Astros or the Phillies.
Facts.
I mean, I'm so happy to see both of those teams, the Rangers and the D-backs, come back and win on the road and against the Astros and the Phillies. That's no easy task, brother.
It also doesn't help that the Astros and the Phillies are probably my top 2 most hated teams in the MLB. Even if it was
alongside the Mets and the Dodgers, yes.
Yes. But even if it was, say, the Cardinals versus the Yankees in the World Series, I would still rather see the Rangers and the D-backs. Rangers lost 100 games last year.
Yeah,
the D-backs lost 100 games in either 21 or 22.
Yeah.
Or in 21, yeah. So, I mean, in the past 2 years, both of these teams have lost over 100 games. And just, they did it kind of different ways. The Rangers have a massive payroll right now. Spent a lot in free agency, and they got
still
some
got
studs.
DeGrom on the injured list, man.
With DeGrom basically doing nothing. And then the D-backs have really built through their farm system. Got a ton of young talent.
Corbin Carroll.
Corbin Carroll's a baller. Yeah, love this matchup.
So Cisco's also got Utah Utes +7 against Oregon. I don't know about that one. Texans -3 against the Panthers.
I like that one.
And the Real GSU -1 over Gag State.
Love it.
Love that one. So for me, little gambling corner action. I'm 13-14 on the season. Not good at all. I went 1-2 last week. Don't want to talk about it. People have been in my mentions. You suck, whatever. But we're going 3-0 this week. So we're going to start off hot. We got 2 during the week non-Saturday college football games in store for us and 1 NFL play. You already know what it is. Georgia Southern -1. Enough said about that. Not going to really say any more about that game. Friday night game. Charlotte +4 against FAU. I love that. Charlotte had a big win last week. Their coaches was seen eating hot dogs before the game that Friday night.
Hammer 'em.
And he was getting a lot of shit for that. And then the Pack Show, even money against the Vikings, man. Book it. That's my place.
Book it in Lambeau.
In Lambeau.
So I also went 1-2 last week. I'll talk about mine. I'll open up about it. I had Arkansas -6 versus Mississippi State. They lost 7-3. That was freaking embarrassing. Arkansas has been a terrible victim of one-loss games this year, and I hope that they don't give up on Pittman because I do like Pittman. But 2-6, no good for the Razorbacks.
7-3, the final, dude.
7-3. That means
terrible football
offense
game.
abysmal. K-State, TCU over 59. TCU didn't score any freaking points, man. K-State did their part, so that one was just a bust. And then Eagles Dolphins under 52. That was my ringer of the week.
It's a lock.
Yeah, dude. It felt like an obvious over game, so I went the under there hypothetically.
For sure, just like you said about the TCU game. Seems like an obvious under game. So you're taking...
Yeah, dude, that's kind of like a fading my own mentality type of deal, dude.
For sure.
Inner freaking dialogue that was going on with those.
You got to hypothetically think
studied.
like Vegas.
So that puts me at 14-10 on the year. We're still positive, and we're about to add a 3-0 week to that, make it 17-10. That'll look pretty good. I am very sorry, Disco. I had this written down before we heard your picks. I have Oregon -6.5. I love the Ducks, even though it's on the road. Oregon's a hell of a ball team, man.
Yeah.
Hell of a ball team. And Utah just had a big emotional win last week. I like the Ducks to come in and handle business by a tutty. Maybe it could be Oregon could win by 7. Disco will push, and then I'll hit. Because I'm at 6.5, hypothetically.
Hypothetically.
That could be. There could be something there. I'll get in touch with Dan Lanning. I'll talk to him about that. 49ers versus the Bengals. 49ers at home after a tough Monday night loss last week. Their get-right game. -3.5 versus the Bengals. Bengals are out of sorts this year. 49ers. And then Oregon State versus Arizona over 56.5. When I saw the spread, it is Oregon State -3.5. Thought that was way too tight of a spread. And then I looked at Arizona's past couple of games. Dude, they played a lot of good teams really close. USC, they took to the wire. Washington, they took to the wire. They score a ton of points. 2 great offenses. This one is a fading the fade. So it's an obvious over game, which makes me think under. But I'm fading that. Double Uno reverse card over.
Hit that old reverse card.
We're going to be 17-10 next week when we are doing this.
Good shit. So we're not really going to do much of an introduction here for Pepe because we have not heard from him after a 1-3 week last week. So Pepe went 1-3 last week. He is 19-13 on the season. So we will tweet out whatever he takes.
Yeah, keep up with the Twitter, Water Hose Drinkers on Twitter. Yeah. And we will send out all the picks and have Pepe's in there as well.
Who's your winner of the week?
Winner of the week, we're just talking about it, is baseball fans, MLB fans. This is a great, we're not going to go too much back into it, but it's a great World Series matchup. And I mean, you could really open that up to sports fans, but I'm just going MLB fans as my winner. My loser is Cade Klubnik / Clemson. Very sorry, Dylan Rosado. That was an ugly loss to Miami, a game that they should have won. Last play of the game in overtime. Cade Klubnik is in the gun, and the play design is a halfback dive. Oregon's D-line, or Oregon's, goodness gracious. Pepe's picks not being in here just totally threw me off. Clemson's offensive line crashed to the left, completely wiped out Miami's D-line. Klubnik decided to pull it for no reason and be a hero, runs out of the left, gets tackled for a loss. They had an easy walk-in touchdown if he hands it off. So Cade Klubnik, don't know what you were thinking there, man. Just hand the ball off, run the play as it was called.
For sure. So my winner of the week, I originally wanted to do the Minnesota Vikings for beating the Niners, but I'm going to change it. Coach just came in the headset and was like, hey, man, like, it's time to change the play. It's time to change the call on the field. Winner of the week, it's the boys. The boys are back.
The boys are so bad.
Dude, the boys are absolutely back, baby.
That's a good winner.
The boys are back.
Boy, we're going to have the Big Green Egg fired up. We're going to have quad box on both TVs. Overstimulation of college football and sports on Saturday.
We're about to have an absolute epic boys weekend. Mm-hmm. That sounded
a little bit sus.
Yeah.
But that's all right.
So my loser of the week is Caleb Williams. So we already talked about him earlier.
Generational prospect, my ass.
Yeah. Well, still his dad. But, yeah. You want to tell the people what we got for Mount Rushmore this week?
So Mount Rushmore, this is college football helmets. And we were given the option to either pick one helmet or just pick a team's catalog of helmets. And so there'll be a little mismatch of that. You want to start us off? You want me to?
I'll go ahead. My honorable mention is Florida State. Classic. I mean, Seminoles, that's just helmet. It's an absolutely iconic. Honorable mention is Michigan. I just don't like Michigan, so I'm not going to put them on my list.
Fair.
Number 4, the U, baby. The U. My sister-in-law, Taylor, will love that. Miami. Dude, all around, great helmets. Over time,
I concur.
they've evolved nicely. Number 3, the white Georgia Southern helmets with the wings on it when we played App State in 2019.
Mm-hmm. Those are fire.
Number 2, Western Kentucky as a whole, man. Especially the new ones with their mascot on it with different position groups.
That is incredible. Love that.
Love it. So my number 1, Ole Miss Baby Blue.
Ole Miss Baby Blue, dude. Dynamic.
That's a good one. Let's. I'm excited for yours. You got something spicy for us? A spicy take?
No, dude. I feel like people are gonna agree with these, man. Honorable mention UNC, dude. The like the kind of, it's not cursive but rounded letters UNC on the side of the helmet. The design going down the middle. Those are just nice, man. Baby blue. Those hit. Getting into my Mount Rushmore. Oregon's helmets with the wings on them. Not with the O on there, with the wings. They do several different colors. Those are great. I think it's just a unique design. Next is anything that Tulane puts out. Anything. Yeah. Their throwbacks, their current green wave on there. Great color scheme, great logo, unique mascot. Love it. Tulane, keep doing whatever you're doing. Next is any script helmet. Anything that is written in script on the side, I'm going to love it. UCLA, Ole Miss.
Georgia Southern did it once.
Florida has great helmets. Okay? I'll say it. I hate the color scheme. I hate Florida so much. They're like the bane of my existence.
Helmets and uniforms, though.
But they have great helmets.
It's like Coastal. I hate them, but they got great uniforms.
Yeah, dude.
Like,
Sometimes you got to admit it. Game respects game. And then my other example for script helmets was Maryland when they do the Terps script, like throwback on there. Phenomenal. And my number 1 is Florida State, dude. The spear, the little tomahawks that they put on there, the color scheme, it's all
Chief
fantastic.
Osceola.
Fantastic, dude. Fantastic. Love Florida State, what they got going on.
It's classic, man. And y'all stay tuned. If you're on YouTube, if you're on Spotify, flip over to that YouTube and watch the interview with Alex Raynor. Unfortunately, Alec had something come up, so he wasn't available for the interview, but it's all right. We still love him anyways. So he's going to make it up to us this weekend for the little boys weekend. I'm just messing with you.
Don't say little boys weekend like that.
Oh, no! Gosh!
Dude.
All right, we're going to have to cut that out.
The man's weekend. The men's.
We're going to have to cut that out.
The grown men's weekend.
No, we're going to keep it in. We'll keep it in.
Keep it in.
Yeah, that... Sorry.
We got to get out of here before we get ourselves in trouble.
It's getting late. I'm getting delusional, man. We're going to get canceled here in about 5 minutes. But anyway, yeah, so Alex going to make it up to us this weekend by hosting the guys over for some football.
The fellas. And we're going to have a good fellas weekend. And drink a lot of brews, honestly. Maybe a little Jameson Orange might be in store for us on Saturday morning to get our juices flowing. And like we said, stay tuned for Alex Raynor interview. And if you want to see Pepe's picks, go to Twitter and follow us on Twitter, Spotify, and YouTube. Yep.
Got anything else to say to people?
Yesterday was history. Tomorrow's a mystery. Today is a gift. That's why they call it the present. Attack the day.
Book it!
You ready to start?
Yeah.
All right, welcome back to Water Hose Drinkers. Today we are here with Alex Raynor. Unfortunately, my co-host Alec couldn't join us today, but it is what it is. So first thing I got for you is, what current or former teammate that's not a special teams player would be the best kicker if needed?
Ooh, non-special teams player. That's a good question. I gotta go. Gotta go. Jeffrey Smith.
Why is that?
I just feel like um, I feel like I've seen him kick before. I know he can punt. He's athletic. Um, and dude, I feel like he could get it done.
Just for everybody, where, tell the people where you're from, high school, all that.
All right, so I'm from Kennesaw, Georgia. Born and raised. Haven't moved anywhere else. I went to Harrison High School, um, and then spent 4 years with Georgia Southern, and now I'm at Kentucky.
What speaking of Georgia Southern, what drew you to Statesboro?
Well, honestly, it's kind of crazy. I didn't have any offers or anything coming out of high school. I feel like I didn't get recruited. Um, Matter of fact, I was actually committed to Georgia State because that was the only like opportunity I had. So, special teams guy from Georgia Southern came down late, like probably April of 19, right before I graduated and went to Georgia State. Came down and watched me kick, and then he was like, "Hey, why don't you join us down at Georgia Southern?" And Statesboro is a lot better than Atlanta, so I found myself in Statesboro for the next 4 years.
So Kennesaw State didn't even recruit you even
No,
there?
no,
That's crazy. I
yeah,
didn't even know you were committed to Georgia State before.
yeah,
You know,
yeah.
leaving Georgia Southern, you were committed to Memphis, originally before going to Kentucky. If you want to talk about that, it's crazy how it happened.
Yeah. And I'm thankful that I had opportunities everywhere because obviously I knew hitting the portal was definitely I had a chance that I might not get anything or, anything can happen. But yeah, Memphis was the first offer. And I went up and visited. They have some really nice facilities. Coaches were really cool. Um, Memphis is a interesting city to say the least. Um, but yeah, and I think it was early April. Kentucky came along, and I I don't think anyone that was in my shoes would blame me for choosing Kentucky over
No doubt.
this. So it's kind of how it happened.
No doubt, man. I mean, I'm happy for you. As I've seen you, start at Georgia Southern and to now. I mean, it's crazy. And what we had a class together last spring.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
I can't remember what class it was, but I remember, when you committed to Memphis.
yeah.
I was, happy for you. Hate that you left Georgia Southern, but obviously you're moving into, bigger and better opportunities, for your career.
Yeah, man. Thank you.
What's the biggest difference between the SEC and the Sun Belt? Obviously you got offensive linemen, are bigger, but what's the biggest difference that nobody might not know? Whether it be your position or just anybody.
You mean just personal wise, like position?
Doesn't matter, whether it be, SEC football, just the atmosphere at Kentucky, or, just what you see on the field, from the sideline, or what you see from kicking a field goal, players coming at you.
Okay. Um, yeah, man. There's I think the biggest difference for me. So, for example, the Florida game. Um, we had like SEC Network coming in. Tim Tebow was there, working out in our facilities and all that. And I'm hearing this throughout the week, like SEC Network's coming to town. I see them setting up the stage outside the facility, and I would say really just the atmosphere and like the whole city buzzing. Talk on, I just, I feel like there's obviously more people, energy, um, crowd noise in the stadium. Obviously, Paulson was, something special for all of us. But yeah, man, just I would say game days overall probably have a little bit more buzz around them in the SEC.
For sure. I mean, SEC football is just it's different. I mean,
Yeah.
it's different and it's unlike anything else. But is there somebody that you model your game after?
Um, I would say obviously Justin Tucker. He's awesome. Everyone knows him now that he hit that 66. But I would say form wise, I'm really trying to model my form after Jason Myers. He's with the Seattle Seahawks. His form is beautiful, and it takes a lot of like critiquing to get where he's at. But mentally, I would say I take after my dad mostly with the mental game. Most people don't realize kicking is a lot of mental preparation, and you got to have thick skin and forget about stuff quickly. So I get a lot of that from my dad.
Did your dad kick?
No, he was a golfer.
Okay, okay.
Yeah,
How
big golfer.
how'd you get into kicking? Do you have a soccer background or you just like, oh, I can kick the ball, might as well start doing it?
Yeah, man. I played soccer. I played all sports, golf and soccer growing up. Played soccer for about 14, 15 years, and I quit my sophomore year of high school um, due to too many concussions. Ironic enough, now I'm playing football, but yeah. Then head football coach of the high school, classic story, called me up, and I was kicking a couple weeks later.
You already said something about Josh Myers, but do kickers watch film on a regular basis?
Yeah, and I think it
Always
depends on
wondered.
your coach. What do you say?
I said, sorry to interrupt you. I just said I always wondered that.
Yeah, no good, all good. It kind of depends on your coach. Like at Georgia Southern, we would watch film where film was needed. Like if you have a really bad day or you just wanted to pull something up from the past, you would watch film. Um, I liked watching film more consistently just to see what I'm doing, like my mechanics and all that, because it's very kicking is very technical. So one thing goes wrong, and you can push a ball pretty easily or pull a ball pretty easily. So it's really important for kickers to watch film.
I've always just been curious about that. I never knew that honestly.
Yeah.
When you're if you got to make a game-winning field goal, game's on the line, do you have a preferred side of the field or where do you want that ball to be?
That's funny you asked because during a game, I want to say it was Florida game. Someone asked me that, and I said I don't care. Just because, dude, I don't like thinking about it. I just go out there and kind of trust my preparation and what I've worked so hard for. So I just go out there and rip it, uh, get my aiming point, and let it loose.
What's the max distance?
Max
Five?
distance. I mean, I was hitting 60 the other day, pretty consistently, but in game with live snap and hold, 55 comfortably. If I need to go further, I would, but I would definitely have to put something behind that one.
What's the furthest you've ever hit? Obviously, you hit the 50-yarder was your career longest in a game, right?
Yeah.
What's the farthest you've hit in practice?
I hit like just in period or by myself in practice or
Doesn't matter. What's the longest you've ever made it through the uprights?
63, and that was this past off season.
Damn, putting in that work.
Yeah, man.
That's crazy. I got two more things for you, little off topic, not really football. But what's your third favorite cereal?
Third favorite cereal?
Cereal.
I would probably go Honey Nut Cheerios.
Okay. Okay. I'd say mine is Fruit Loops.
Fruit Loops.
What's the one and two?
Number one is Cinnamon Toast Crunch,
Ooh.
and then Lucky Charms.
All right. My two's Lucky Charms. Captain Crunch is number one for sure.
Never been a Captain Crunch guy.
That's just like I don't know. I feel like that's just like the first thing that I love. Like that and Lucky Charms was like the first two cereals that I fell in love with. I don't know why.
Yeah, yeah, that's good stuff, man.
What's the worst name you can think of for a dog?
Worst name. Right off the top of my head, I would say Dookie. The first thing that popped in my head.
That's funny. That's
What
funny. I
about you?
was talking to Alec about that earlier, and he was like, "What are you gonna say?" And I was like, "I don't even know. I mean, you got to say something bad. I don't even know what I would pick."
Yeah, got it. That's funny. Those are good questions.
Well, man, I really do appreciate you doing this interview, and I'll send you the link and stuff. When it comes out, it'll be on Twitter and YouTube. So I really appreciate it again.
Yeah, of course, dude. Anytime.
Hopefully we can get together at the end of the season after you're done and maybe talk about the NFL draft.
Oh yeah. Hopefully, man.
Hey, best of luck to you. I'm rooting for you, and keep up the hard work.
Thanks, man. Y'all take care down in Statesboro now.
All right, man. I'll see you.
See you, man.